Doc Talk. Yeah, we keeping it smooth. Your favorite paralegal got the legal groove. From the stars in the courtroom to your cousin's case, we breaking it all down. No rush, just pace. What's good, everybody? It's your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk. 24/7. Hey y'all, so this is an update in one of Blueface's civil cases. Miss Jacqueline Martinez, Soulja Boy's baby mama, who filed for damages in the little disagreement that they had. Oh, that was a couple of years ago, where he pretty much defamed her all over social media. She did file suit and she was awarded damages in the amount of approximately $123,000. Recently, on October 16th, she has filed a motion with the court, and she's not just going after the non paid judgment. She's going after so much more. Let's tap right on into it. So here we have a notice and a motion for assignment order and an order restraining judgment debtor and a memorandum of points and authorities and a declaration of Mr. Michael Burke with a proposed order. So this motion is to be heard on December 9th at 9:30 a.m. So it is on the docket to be heard. Now, what is she going after? We're going to tap into that just a second. So here's just telling us that it is taking place on December 9th at 9:30, and she is moving the court for an order instructing the judgment debtor Jamal or Jonathan Jamal Porter to assign as judgment debtor in interest in and all rights to royalties collected by ASCAP, CAP, and BMI derived from payments resulting from sales of songs, records, and the like for which ASCAP and BMI collect on his behalf to the judgment creditor to the extent necessary to pay the judgment creditor's judgment in full, including accrued interest through the date of final payment. So, baby, she's not playing any games at this point, and I'm sure everybody else is going to follow suit going after those royalties. Now, there's no way for me to check how much this man gets each time his song is played or whatever the case may be, or however this works, but they are smart enough to say, hey, he gets paid somehow, some way. Whatever he gets paid, it's going to go towards this 123K. So, mind you guys, he already has that $15 million judgment against the Gentlemen's Club, which has not been paid, and they have filed an abstract. So, at any time, they can still go after him by any means necessary in order to collect on that judgment. Then you have Soldier Boy's baby mother. Then you have oh my gosh, what is the Contravious trailer, I believe. Then another individual who ended up with a judgment. So he has a lot of debt that are in the form of judgments that have not been paid and needs to be paid, and they are going to get it by any means necessary. So with Miss Jacqueline, who is Soldier Boy's baby mother, she was awarded this 123K, and she's like, "Look, I haven't been paid on this. I need to get paid on this by any means necessary." So she says, "Let's go after his royalties." And that's what we have here. So it says the judgment creditor will also move the court for an order restraining the judgment debtor and any servant, agent, employees, or attorney for the judgment debtor and any persons in active concert and participating with the judgment debtor from encumbering, assigning, disposing, or spending the judgment debtor's commission and all rights to payment thereunder. This simply means that, look, if y'all have access to his money, do not go spend it. Do not try to transfer it into another account. Don't try to hide it. Don't try to do anything with it, or they will be held liable for doing that. So it's going to come after them. So this is also directed them. Hey, if you oversee these funds, This judgment has to be paid before y'all do anything with it. This motion is made on the grounds that the judgment creditor has a judgment against both of the judgment debtors. Said judgment been entered on April 16, 2025, with all credits to payment included. There remains a balance due, including interest accrued at the legal rate of $123,243.10 plus the interest at the legal rate, and that the judgment debtor has an assignable right to pay the payments described herein, and that there is a need to restrain the judgment debtor. So it's just like a restraining order telling people not to do something. If this motion is granted and they have an order to restrain any of the people that they listed here, it's just simply going to say, you guys cannot move this money. You can't spend this money. You have to handle this judgment first. This motion will be based on this notice and the attached declaration of Michael N. Burke, the memorandum of points and authorities set forth below. Let me see. So this is the memorandum of points. So judgment creditor Jacqueline Martinez obtained judgment against the defendant Jonathan Jamal Porter in the amount of $123,243.10 on April 16, 2025. No part of this judgment has been satisfied. Porter is a singer and performer under the name Blueface. As a result, plaintiff is informed and believes that ASCAP and BMI collect royalties on his behalf, as it is one of, if not the most common method of distribution of royalty earnings for members in the entertainment industry. Plaintiff and judgment creditor Jacqueline Martinez is seeking an order assigning those royalties. Now, everybody's probably like, well, how in the world is she able to do that? That is why attorneys have to put in case law to, how can I say this? Not for the court, but it's saying this is a motion to the court. So if you're saying, hey, I want to take over the royalties, or I want the royalties to pay this judgment, you have to give case law as to why you are able to do this. Okay. So according to Code of Civil Procedure section 7708.512, 512, I can't even read, 510, it authorizes a court to issue an order directing the judgment debtor to assign to a judgment creditor or to the receiver all or part of a right to payment due or become due, including wages due from the federal government that are not subject to withholding under an earning withholding orders, rent, commissions, royalties, payments due from a patent or copyright, insurance policy, loan value, accounts receivable, general intangibles, judgments, and instruments. Although the court may take into consideration all relevant factors, the sole constraints placed on the court are that the right to payment be assigned only to the extent necessary to satisfy the creditor's money judgment, and that where part of the payments are exempt, the amount of payments assigned should not exceed the difference between the gross amount of the payments and the exempt amount. So they do have the section listed on here. I ain't gonna go all through that, but pretty much it's just saying, hey, in these particular cases, the court assigned an order in order to receive funds to pay off the judgment, and they list the cases here. So they brought their little case law into it. Let's see. The right to payment may be assigned up to the full amount due on the judgment. Okay, so that's why I wanted to know, how much was the percentage? It is 10% annually. So there is a judgment. What's the judgment? The judgment was like 123K plus the 10%. So as of October 8th, the total due is $129,148.85. This is just going to keep going up per year as long as it's not paid. Oh my goodness. An assignment order may be issued because the judgment may be enforced. So, since the judgment was entered and since no order exists staying enforcement of the judgment, The court is authorized to issue an assignment order for the judgment creditor. The court can restrain the judgment debtor. So, according to 708.520, it authorizes the court to restrain the judgment debtor from assigning or otherwise disposing of the right to payment sought to be assigned upon a showing of need. Such a showing of need is set forth in a declaration that accompanies the memorandum. Consequently, the debtor must be restrained so that the right to payment sought to be assigned will be available to be applied to the judgment creditor's judgment. Y'all see that? Based on the foregoing, it is clear the judgment creditor is entitled to an assignment order instructing the judgment debtor and ASCAP and BMI to judgment creditor Martha Vincent. Who is Martha Vincent? Lord, I just hope I think they made a typo. It's supposed to be to Jacqueline Martinez. But I don't know if the judge gonna be like, "Hey, you need to amend this and refile it." But hopefully they got the proposed order correct. All right. So here's the declaration. Now, again, this is just the motion. So they're asking the court for this to be applied so that they can collect judgment to pay off that $129,000 that it is now. So here's the declaration. He's an attorney, California, for Miss Jacqueline Martinez, and if he's called to witness, he can testify the verified facts in this case because he does now have personal knowledge. So we know that April 16th, a judgment was obtained, and he listed it as a exhibit. It says that he searched the internet website as part of his investigation into the judgment debtors trying to locate assets to enforce plaintiff's judgment. Defendant Porter is professionally known as Blueface, a successful singer. I'm like singer, entertainer and entrepreneur. ASCAP and BMI are royalty collection and distribution sources for the entertainment industry and the entertainer members of its organizations. Plaintiff is informed and believes that defendant Porter received or will be receiving payments from these entities. I wonder if they realize, I mean, we have to realize, like, and this is not a race thing, but white folks don't know a lot about what's going on in black folks, and likewise, okay, vice versa. So for us, we know, like, hey, we know he's a rapper. We know that he works for Zeus, occasionally. He had a couple of shows. Me personally, I would have been not only going after this, but also going after those Zeus checks. I'm just saying. So he calculated it, and judgment was awarded. What? Let me see. Judgment awarded on 2/9/2018. You know what? This man, he gonna have to redo this because this is not even correct. The judgment was on April 16th. I'm gonna have to do the calculation. I'm just not reading this while I'm presenting this to you guys. So I didn't do the calculations. So the judgment was awarded April 16th, 2025. So from that time all the way to 10/8, that many, it should be that amount of days times the $33.77, and that will calculate the interest, and then you add that to the whatchamacallit. So once I get off here, I'm going to do my own calculations to even see if that is correct. But either way, a balance is still due because he has not paid it. So kudos to, I don't his new boo things. I hope they are going to pitch in and and get that judgment taken care of. Okay, so this is the what is this? This is the judgment by the court. So she has special damages in the amount of 18,000, non-economic damages in the amount of 100,000, attorney's fees approximately 3,000, and then what is this? The cost for filing service and appearance approximately 2,000. So in total, $123,243.10. So this is a copy of the judgment 4/16/2025. I said, did I say August or April? I can't even remember. But from April 16th all the way to October 8th, however much that interest is, it has to be added to the $123,000, and that would be how much is due now. Now, mind you, every year, so next year, that would be 10% added on to that. And each year is going to be 10% in interest until it is paid. So we're going to see about this. And they had to mail a copy. So I'm pretty sure your boy got a copy of this. He already knows what's going on because this was filed October 16th. And I just don't know. I don't know what his game plan is. I don't know if his mom is going to help out because she's very excited he's coming home. But who wants to come home to debt? If we count that 15 million plus this, plus the other two judgments he already has, how can you come out of that? You are going to be owing this debt for a very long time unless you just, a miracle comes. Either you win the lottery or somebody is gracious enough to say, "Hey, here's here's 20 million. Pay your debt off." Who knows? But what y'all think about this? Put it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, you all be blessed and I'm out. Bye.